you do if you wanted to extend the left boundary and right boundary? Okay, share the screen. Yeah, thanks, Abhijit. So I'm sharing the screen. In case if you wanted to use the left boundary, right boundary, wonderful. Belly and Krishna, you have to use N, but just the N doesn't work out. If you want to give a clear instructions, you have to use an escape character. Okay, anything after the escape character, the whole value of the whole meaning of that changes. For example, N, the escape character before, if you put an escape character before N, the meaning of that changes. Now it becomes a new line. Anyways, so that's how you can extend the left boundary, right boundary. And how do you have to take the left boundary, right boundary so that it is unique? That left boundary and right boundary is not repeated in that response. Anywhere in that response. Only then you will be able to pick up the right value. Otherwise, you might be picking up the incorrect values that you don't want it. Okay. So, and what are the arguments that we have looked into, guys, yesterday? What are the arguments that we have looked into? Can somebody please tell me? Obviously, there are three arguments that you can see here. One is the param name, left boundary and right boundary. Other than these three, did we look into any other arguments yesterday? Okay, so other than this, at the fag end of the class, we have looked into two more. One is save length and one is save offset. Do you remember that, guys? One is save length and one is save offset. Save length is how much of that value you wanted to store. Okay, we haven't looked into save length and save offset. Guys, did we or did we not? Oh, we haven't. Okay. Sorry, I was guessing that I have. Okay, I'm creating a new course and I have doing recording that web services course. So I thought I have covered. Anyways, so now let's start exploring the other arguments other than these three. If you are wondering, these are the only three arguments in our correlation function. The answer is no. There are more, but these are mandatory. Without them, my WebRed save param will not work. But there are others which are optional. We can expand, we can extend, and all that. Okay. There are three arguments which I would like to play around. Okay. One is ordinal all. Okay. One is save offset, and one is save length. Okay, so very important if you wanted to do any advanced scripting or any advanced programming, understanding these three arguments is important. Not that you would have to use it everywhere and anywhere, but if you know them, it becomes really handy. And in the interviews, there will be a lot of questions around it. Even though they don't ask, probably you have to mention this in the interview, saying that what are the scripting challenges you have faced. Then you would have to talk about these three arguments. Okay. Before exploring or before understanding more about it, about these three arguments called save length, save offset, and ordinal all. Okay, I have been playing around with only this parameter named user session, but now I'll try to correlate something else. Okay, I'll try to correlate something else. So first, let me show you what I would like to correlate. Okay, so I would like to correlate these values here. Okay, so what is the agenda? Okay, first let me give you the agenda for today. Okay, let me give you an agenda. What is that I wanted to do? Okay, so watch carefully, guys. What is that I would like to do now? Pick up one random value from the pull down. Okay, some people call this as drop down list. Okay, so you can either call this as a pull down list or a drop down list, depending on the country. You would call it by different names. So I will be using the word pull down list. From this pull down list, okay, while recording, let's say I've recorded the departure city as Denver. Okay, so while playing back, if I play back 100 times, it will always be Denver. But what I want a random city to be, a random city to be selected every time, every single iteration. You see, pick up one random value from the drop down list. So whether this drop down list or this drop down list. What is my purpose now? I have to pick up one random city from this drop down list. So what do I do, guys? What do I do? Can somebody, with the knowledge that I've given you so far, can somebody suggest what should I do, or how do you go about if I give you this as your assignment? Melly, wonderful. So what would I do? I will parameterize this value. Okay, I'll parameterize this drop down list. I'll parameterize this departure city. Okay, parameterize the departure city, and in the parameterize there are different options. One is sequential, one is random, and what is the third one, guys? What is the third one? You can speak if you want. Unique.
Unique.
Wonderful. Unique. So out of these three values, you would obviously select random because you wanted to select this random. Okay, so this is what you would do. Okay, but what if the developer has changed the cities over here? Okay, so in the next release, he said that, oh, this number of cities is not good enough. My application has grown, so I will add 10 more cities. Now you have to go back and change your list of parameterization. Okay, so you cannot keep track of all this for every release and all that. So the better thing is there is another way of handling this, and which is used by all the performance testers. So the other way is regularly or most popular ways or used is correlate this. Okay, use the power of correlation. Use the power of correlation. Use the power of correlation. Okay, and do some custom programming. To accomplish this job. So here what I would do is I'll use the power of correlation here to pick up all these values. Then from that list I'll pick up a value randomly. So you would understand this sentence better after I have completed this whole chapter or after I have completed today's class. But before I proceed any further, what I would like to tell you is this departure cities is not a dynamic value. It will not change from iteration to iteration. But what we are doing here is we are using the power of correlation. Not that this needs to be correlated. No, this need not have to be correlated, because you see, once you have selected Denver, it will say Denver. It is not a dynamic value. It changes. It will not change randomly from iteration to iteration. Okay, it will have to be some value from this list. As I've told you, if I ask you to do it, definitely you would parameterize the departure city and select random options so that it will select randomly. So it's definitely not a dynamic value. So you need not have to correlate it. But I would use the power of correlation. To pick up this value. Okay, to pick up this value. Okay, so before I proceed further and talk about this agenda, so for you to understand clearly the correlation concept, let me tell you something. Okay. Okay. So now, guys, what I want is let's assume I want the total cost that you have paid for the ticket. For whatever the reason, I want to pick up this value. What is that? 202. Okay, I want to pick up that value and I wanted to use this for my mathematical purposes, for whatever it is, or I wanted to store it in an output file, or I wanted to add something in display, or I just wanted to display the cost of the ticket in my VUGen. Okay, I wanted to display how much you have spent in my output replay log, saying that the cost of the ticket is blah blah blah. Okay, I want to output this value. I wanted to output this value in my output replay log. So what do I do? Here, this 202 is definitely it's not a dynamic value. Depending upon the arrival city and departure city, the cost will be given to you. So it's definitely not a dynamic value. But I can use the power of the correlation to extract that value and store it in an LR parameter. And once I've stored it in an LR parameter, I can do whatever I want. I can convert into an integer and I can multiply, add, divide, do whatever it is. But Definitely, okay. For here, I wanted to display that value. I wanted to display that value in the output replay log. So how do I do it? Okay. So for this, I will use the power of the correlation to extract the value. See, watch carefully. But again, I'm using the correlation on this not because this is a dynamic value. Again, I'm telling you, not because this is a dynamic value, but I just wanted to extract that value and store it in a LR parameter. Okay. So watch carefully. How do I do it? First, I have to figure out which request, for which request this is the response. Okay, so let me go through it. Let me go to the snapshot view. Let me go to the page view to see for which exact request this is the response. Okay, so snapshot view will give me that. Okay, so seems like here is the request. You see, here is the request which is starting from 151. You see, here is the request which is starting with 151. Okay, here is the request for which the response is this. For which the response is this. Okay, now I wanted to capture this cost, which is 731. So definitely it is there in the response of this request, which is 151. How do I know? I clicked on 151. I went to the snapshot view. I went to recording. It is showing that cost. So definitely it is there in the response of this request. So what I would do, I will build a web page save param before that. Because whatever I wanted to capture, it is there in the response of this request. So I should start building the web page save param before that. I should start building the web page save param before that. But I need to know, for building the correlation, there are three things which is important. I want the left boundary, I want the right boundary, and I wanted the parameter name. So the left boundary and right boundary, should I take it from the response or should I take it from the request? The left and the right boundary, should I take it from the response or the request? Okay, I should take it from the response. Okay, watch carefully how I am taking it. Either I can go to the code generation log, okay, output code generation log, I can do it, or if I know precisely the response of which request I am picking up, the request, so I already know this is the request and the response in this request response, I have this value which I wanted to capture. So definitely I know the request in which in the response of which the value is there. So definitely go to that HTTP data view. Okay, seems like there is only one resource, and for that resource this is the request and the response. So I know in the response of this request that 751 is there, and you see this is the response. So copy that value. Okay, there are two ways. One is the code generation, by using the code generation log you can go, or by using the snapshot view. But when will I use the snapshot view? When I am 100% sure that, oh, in this response, whatever the value I'm looking for, it is there in this particular request. Once you know for sure, then you can go with the snapshot view. I know for sure that, the value I wanted in this case here, it is what? The value that I wanted here in this case, what is it? 731, or the ticket cost. Okay, it is there in the response of this request. So definitely, if I know this, then go to the HTTP data view, go to the response, copy it. What I want is the cost. Okay, here in this case it is 731. So here is the cost. Here is the cost. So I need to capture it. So the cost is repeated at multiple places. Okay, so if you go back to the page view, it has repeated at multiple places. But what I want is the total cost, let's say, or what I want is the total cost. So you see, here is the total cost. This cost seems to be for, you see, this 731. This cost seems to be for this one, this value here. Okay, so which is flight 232. You see, flight 232 leaves from London to Los Angeles. It is 731, and this 731 seems to be for the total cost. I want the total cost, so this is the value I want. So since I booked only one flight, this cost and the total cost is same. But if I had booked multiple flights, then this cost and this cost would have been different. But whatever it is, I want the total cost. So in the response, seems like this is the total cost. Okay, then this is the left boundary and this is the right boundary. Okay, so let's assume this left boundary is not good enough. I wanted to take this left boundary as well. Watch here carefully, guys. We are learning a lot of stuff here. Okay, so what I want only 731. I don't even want the dollar. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll capture all of it. Okay, and we can stop here, but for whatever the reason, I believe that this left boundary is not good enough, so I'm extending it to the new line as well. Okay, I've copied all of that as a left boundary. I've copied all of that as a left boundary. Okay, I've copied all of that as a left boundary. So the left boundary is what? This is the left boundary. And you see how many spaces are there. Okay, these many spaces are there. Spaces is also very, very important. You should not ignore the spaces. Okay, and let's see what is the right boundary here. Okay, so it starts from space, and let's say it needs to extend to the next line as well. Okay, wonderful. So what is the right boundary? What is the right boundary? Okay, here is the right boundary. Okay, here is the right boundary. So there is a space here, there is a space here, and there is no space there. You see, I'm pulling it, there is no space there, and here there seems to be a space. Okay, so if you're not using Notepad++, you will not be able to figure out how many spaces are there, guys. You see, after TD there is one space, and in the new line there seems to be multiple spaces over here. Okay, if you're using Notepad, I don't know, you might not be able to see these spaces very clearly. So it's better we use the Notepad++. Okay, so this is the right boundary which I wanted, and this is the left boundary that I wanted. And the parameter name, I can give anything. I'll give it as total price. Okay, now you see carefully. Okay, there is one space here. Okay, there is a space here. Hang on, guys. Is there a space after TD? Yeah, there is a space after TD. So maybe, yeah, this is the left boundary. So let me copy it. Hang on, guys. Let me copy it from the dollar value. So here is the left boundary. You have to be extra careful when you're selecting the left boundary, right boundary, guys. The spaces are also important. So yeah, here it is not copying. Okay, there doesn't seems to be space when I copy it. Okay, fine. So but here when I see it over here, there seems to be a space. No, there is no space. Okay, there is no space. Okay, but here there is space. How many spaces are there? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces are there here. Okay, and after the B, there is one more space. Okay, so now let me bring all that into one single line. Okay, and calculate the number of spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, and here I have to use new line. I have to use new line. Okay, so my left boundary is ready, guys, and my right boundary. Let me see how many spaces are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let me delete it and count the number of spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here I have to have the new line. I have to have the new line. Okay, so and where will my web range save param goes? It is there in the response of whatever the value that I wanted to pick up. It is there in the response of this request. So I'll start building it over here. I'll start building it over here. Okay, wherever you are finding the response, whichever the request in which you are able to find the response, you just have to build the web range save param above that. You just have to build the web range save param above it. But wherever the request, let's say the dynamic value is there in this request. Okay, let me ask this question, guys. Whatever the value that I wanted, it is there in the response of this request, then I build the web range save param in this. But the dynamic value is there in the request. Dynamic value is there in the request. So will I be able to build my web range save param over here, guys? Can you somebody answer? If the dynamic value is over here, will I be able to build the web range save param over here?
No.
Okay. Please be loud. Somebody is answering.
No, before that request.
Okay, so before this request, which is 128, you would have to build it. Okay, if the dynamic value is there in this request, but the value that I wanted to capture is there in the response of this request, then build it before this. Then build it before this. Okay, are we clear, guys? Are we clear, or you got confused? All of you. Okay. If the dynamic value is there in this request, then you shouldn't build it before this. Then that's a blatant mistake. You have to start building before a request above it. But the value that you want to capture is there in the response of this request, then you can start building it over here. Okay. So I'll apply the same logic for the dynamic value that we have done. Okay. So for me, the user session value, okay, whatever the user session value was there in this request, the user session value that I wanted was there in this request. That user session value is there in the response of this request, guys. Was there in the response of this request, and that's the reason why I built the web range save param over here. Again, here carefully here, guys. Very, very carefully hear it. This is the session, the user session value, whatever it is. Okay, the user session value is there, or the dynamic value is there in this request. But this same session value is there in the response of this request. That is the reason why you have built the WebRed save param before that. You have built the WebRed save param before that. So since that user session is there in the response of this request, you have built the WebRed save param over this, and then you have replaced it over here, and then you have replaced it over here. So that session or the dynamic value that I wanted was there in the response of this request, and that's the reason why you have built the WebRed save param over here, and later on you have used it over here. Later on you have used it over here. The dynamic value is in the script, it is coming over here, but it is there in the response of this request, and that's why you have built the WebRed save param above it. So whatever the value that you wanted, okay, it is there in the response of a particular request, then you have to build the WebRed save param above it. That's the rule of thumb. Okay, so are we clear with this concept, guys, all of you? So here the dynamic value is appearing in the script over here, but it is there in the response of this request, and that's why you have built the WebRed save param over here. So similarly, the value that I wanted, okay, the value that I wanted is there in the response of this request. You see, it is there in the response of this request, and that's the reason why I'm building my WebRed save param over here. How do I know? My snapshot view has confirmed that. Okay, so you can use any of the ways. Now I'll build it using WebRed save param, not EX, guys, because yesterday I've told you the challenges or the problems of using WebRed save param underscore EX if you have a new line. Okay, that's why I will use WebRed save param. Okay, parameter name, I'll give it as total cost. Okay, and you have the left boundary. Okay, be careful about the spaces, and you have the right boundary. That spaces are also important. Okay, and okay, so let me put a toggle point over here to see if you are able to capture the value. Okay, so let me fix any changes that I have done here. Okay, so I need to fix this error here, and I have to put the flower braces. Okay, let me go ahead and run it, guys. So now let me see if the registration has happened successfully or not. This is the WebRed save param, or the correlation function that I have built. You see, WebRed save param has started. Registering of WebRed save param is successful. And you see, total cost, you are able to capture 731. But is 731 a dynamic value wherein you have to replace it elsewhere in the script? So I've captured, you see, guys, I've captured 731 in an LR parameter called total cost. Why total cost? Because you have given an LR parameter called total cost, param name as total cost. So that's why it has captured 731 into that total cost. Okay, so wonderful, Kumar, not an issue, beautiful. But the problem is, okay, is this a dynamic value? I have to replace the total cost anywhere else over here? No, this is not a dynamic value. I haven't correlated it so that I wanted to replace it somewhere. No, I've correlated it so that I can get the total cost. But once I got the total cost, let's say I wanted to print this out. So how can I print it? LR output underscore message. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to build. So if I do this, will it work, guys? If I do this, I'll take the total cost LR parameter. Okay, so if I do this, will it work? Will it be able to print the total cost? No. Can somebody unmute yourself and tell me why it will not work? You have to put a placeholder. Wonderful. So I'll put a placeholder here. Okay, so what is the placeholder I should put over here? Can somebody please tell me? So percentile D. Okay. Now can somebody tell me, is this correct, guys? If I put a placeholder as percentile D for the total cost, will it work? Okay. Somebody unmute yourself and tell me why it will not work. If this is indent gonna work, why it will not work? Can somebody please tell me? Oh, you have to remove the double quotes completely. Okay. If I remove the double quotes, then how it will work? Do you think it will work? If I compile it, I think it will throw the error. Okay. If I compile it, Yeah, it is throwing the error. It's saying illegal statement. You have to have the double quotes, Shraddha. I thought it was pretty simple. Everybody will immediately jump and tell me. Okay. So first tell me, what is the total cost? What is this?
It's an LR parameter.
It's an LR parameter. Wonderful. Total cost is an LR parameter. Okay. Total cost is a LR parameter. Is there a placeholder for LR parameter? Okay. Now you tell me. Placeholder for integer is what? Placeholder for integer is what?
%D.
Wonderful. Placeholder for string is what?
%S.
Percentile yes. Placeholder for float is what?
Percentile F.
Percentile F. Okay. But is there a placeholder for LR parameter?
No, we have to convert into string and then use it.
Wonderful. So you either convert this value to float or a string or an integer and use it. But the cost that I have is 179. The closest that I can convert is an integer. Okay. The better I convert to an integer, because the total cost looks like an integer. So I'll convert this to an integer and then print out. So I have to convert an LR parameter to an integer. Okay. So what do? I have to convert an LR parameter to integer. So what do I do, guys?
ATOI.
Wonderful. ATOI. On the top of it, what should I use?
Flower braces, double quotes, flower LR eval string.
Wonderful. Okay. So LR eval string will convert an LR parameter to a string, and ATOI will convert a string to integer. So there is no direct way to convert LR parameter to integer. First you have to convert to a string, then you convert to a integer. So how do I convert LR parameter to a string? By using LR eval string. This is all we have done, guys. This is all we have done. And string to integer, ATOI. So that's what I'm doing. ATOI LR eval string of this one. Okay. So this is all we have done. Okay. So otherwise go to my conversion chapter and please listen to it again to understand how I have done this. Okay. So this is how you convert an LR parameter to an integer. Copy that and put it over here. It will work. Okay. So it will work. So again, you have to listen to my conversion chapters, guys. So any custom programming you have to do, you have to touch. Conversions are important. That's why I've told you. That's why I've spent so much time over there. It will make you a wonderful performance tester. Okay, I'm telling you these small things. Logically, if you ask even a person who has 5 years or 6 years of experience, they will not be able to tell it. Blindly, they have to say that they have to use ATOI LR eval string. But you have learned logically as to why you have to do it as well. Okay, so LR output message, I will not be able to output what's there in an LR parameter. So I had to convert to either a string or an integer to print it out. So I have converted to an integer to print it out. Okay, so now you see, if you wanted to see if printing is working or not. Okay, so I'll go ahead and execute. I'll put a toggle point over here so that it will stop there. Okay, so you see if it is getting printed or not. You see 731. You see 731 is getting printed. So if you want, you can add some custom text to it to say whatever you want. Okay, now you can say the cost of the ticket is, then you can add this custom text so that it appears good now. In the output log, it appears something, a meaningful statement will be printed out in the output. You see the cost of the ticket is 731. Okay. Now you wanted to multiply something to it. Okay, you can certainly do it because the output value you have converted that to an integer. Okay, ATOI of LR eval string of total cost. Whatever the output value, you can store it into an integer. And once you store it into an integer, you can multiply, you can divide, you can do whatever you want. You can multiply, divide, do whatever you want. Okay, wonderful. So you see, now I went through all this pain of explaining all this stuff to you to prove one point, guys. To prove one point, correlation. We can use the power of correlation to capture any value on the web application. Okay, to capture any value on the web application. Here what we have captured? We have captured the cost. But you want to capture this text, you wanted to capture this text, you wanted to capture this text, any text you wanted to capture, you can seamlessly capture it using the correlation as long as you know the left boundary and right boundary of it. Okay, so let's say anything you want. You went to the itinerary, and somewhere over here you wanted to capture the total number of flights. You see, 24 scheduled flights. I wanted to capture this number 24. I can certainly do that. Okay, you can capture any number by using the correlation. Not this 24 is a dynamic value and you have to capture it. No, but you wanted to capture it for your purpose, so that you wanted to print it out and anything, you can use the power of the correlation. Similarly, I can use the power of the correlation to capture all the values which are there in this pull down list. All I wanted to know is the left boundary of it and the right boundary of it. All I have to know is what is there to the left and what is there to the right. In the request, no. In the response, yes. Okay. Are we clear so far before I proceed any further, guys? Are we clear so far before I proceed any further? Here today what we are learning is we are doing the correlation not because some value is dynamic value and that needs to be correlated, but because you wanted to capture that value, you wanted to do more with that value, and that's the reason why. Okay? And that's the reason why. Okay?
So, I,
Okay, Samir, you have a question?
yeah, like we have a representation of enter, like we put backslash n. So don't we have a representation for the spaces?
Oh, for the new line you have representation. For the spaces do we have? That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this escape character and new line, this is what it is, right?
Yeah, this is for the enter. So do we have similar thing for the spaces also?
Yes, but I can't remember at the top of my mind, Samir. Maybe you can do a little bit of research on that. But this is how I usually doing it, and it's working, so I never bothered. But I'm sure there is representation for that, for the number of spaces as well.
Okay, if there is a representation, can I use that in instead of the space that you have used in the left boundary and the right boundary?
That's what it is. What does the regular space means? Okay. Let me see. I think /s will work. That's what I'm guessing. Okay. Can somebody tell me if there is a space, what is that we have to use? I think these are all the meta characters. We can search by the name meta character. Okay. Uh,
Okay, so we can use, instead of putting the blank there and put, if there are 5 spaces, then we can put a 5s
you,
slash s slash.
you see, Samir, you see slash any white space character, you can use slashes. I think slashes might work.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but just give it a guess. This is what I thought, but I never use it. But instead of a space here, I think you can put a escape character and a s, which represents space. But you have multiple spaces, I think you can use numbers as well. Okay, with this. Okay, escape character, and here we have 7 spaces, right? You can put 7s or something like that, or else you have to put this 7 times. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so yeah, this is an ocean, Samir. So you keep searching, keep doing, you jump into it, things happen. Okay, so yeah, I think you can use an escape character and S for representing a space. Yeah. So coming back here. Now I wanted to capture this. So first, what I want is a left boundary and right boundary, not in the request but in the response. So I'll go back to the script and see the response of which request we have this. The response of which request we have this. We have this departure cities. So I'll keep clicking on the request. First, I went to the snapshot view. Okay, I went to the page view. Now I keep searching. Okay, so I'll come from the first. Okay, so okay, seems like this request is for launch because I'm able to launch it. Okay, this request is for login because I'm able to log in. Okay, this request is for what? Oh, this request. In the response of this request, now I have these departure cities and arrival cities. Which request is it? The request which is there on line number 70. In the response of this request, I have the departure cities and arrival cities. Okay, I have the departure cities and arrival cities. Okay, so if I have to capture these departure cities, I have to put a web-based save param just before this request. I have to put a web-based save param just before this request. Okay. First, I will get the left boundary and the right boundary for this departure city. I want to get the left boundary and right boundary for this departure city. So what do? I go to the HTTP data. I know that in the response of this request have the departure cities. So I have to build the web-based save param before that. So I want the left boundary, right boundary. So what do? I'll go to the HTTP data. So first of all, I'll see how many resources are there. There are 3 resources. Each resource has a request response. I'll copy the response of each of this resource. Okay. I'll copy the response of each of this request. Okay. So I've copied the response of the first resource. I've copied the response of the second one. Okay. Now I've copied the response of the third one. Wonderful, guys. Wonderful. Okay. I've copied the responses of all of that. Now what I want is the departure cities. So I'll go back to the page view. What I want is the departure cities. It could be there in the response of first resource, second resource, or third resource. I don't care. Okay, it could be there in one of these resources. So that's the reason why I've copied all the responses into a notepad++ file. Okay, now I'll search for the departure cities, or Denver seems to be the first one. I'll search for Denver. It is there. I'll search for Denver. It is there, and it is there in the departure city. You see, this is the departure city, and Denver is there. Okay, so you see, if you go back to the page view, yeah, it is the departure city. For that you have a Denver. You see, it's a departure city, and then you have the Denver, and whatever the values that you want, Frankfurt, London, Los Angeles, Paris, Portland, everything is there over here. Frankfurt, London, Los Angeles, Paris, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, Sydney, and Zurich. So all the values are over here. So what is the agenda? If you go back and see what is the agenda, that we have started? Pick up one value randomly from the pull down list. I wanted to pick up one value from the pull down list, randomly from the pull down list. To pick up one value, it is a 2-step process. Step one is capture all the departure cities. Okay. Now, once you have captured all the departure cities, then step 2 is what? Okay. Pick up one value randomly from the captured list. So it's a two-step process, guys. It's not one step. It's a 2-step process to pick up one value randomly from this pull down list. So what do? First, capture all the departure cities. Once you capture all the departure cities, pick up one value randomly from the captured list. So first, I'll go with the step 1, capture all the departure cities. Okay. Before capturing all the departure cities, first let's capture one city. Let's capture only one city. Then we'll capture multiple cities. Okay. So for capturing one city, what do? If I wanted to capture one city, let's say I wanted to capture one city called Frankfurt. Either you can take this or take this. So let me take this one. Okay. So if I consider this is the left boundary and this is the right boundary. Okay. This is the left boundary and this is the right boundary. Okay. You can do it for Denver as well. This is the left boundary and this will be the right boundary. But what I would want to do, I wanted to do it for Frankfurt. But if you wanted to do it for Denver as well, nobody is stopping you. So this is the left boundary and this is the right boundary. Okay. So I'll take that much as the left boundary and that much as the right boundary. Hopefully, it will pick up the value that I wanted. Okay. So let me start building the web-based save param really quickly, guys. Okay. So it is there in the response of this request. No, it is there in the response of this request. So I have to build it over here. So let me quickly build it. Right click, insert, new step. Either I can use web-based save param underscore ex or e. I'll use ex because there is no escape characters that I'm putting. Okay. I'll use ex because I'm not putting any escape character. So I'll give a parameter name called departure city. And the left boundary, I'll give this as the left boundary. And the right boundary, I'll give this as the right boundary. Wonderful. Okay, click on OK. Put a toggle point over here. Go ahead and run it and see if you're able to capture the departure city that you wanted. Okay. Okay, registration of web-based save param is successful. Okay, now let me see if it is capturing the departure city or not. Okay, you see saving the parameter departure city and is capturing the value Denver. It is capturing the value Denver. So you have captured one city. You have captured one city. So at least you are done to certain extent wherein you have captured one city. But what is the agenda, guys? What is the agenda? To capture all the departure cities. To capture all the departure cities. Hold on, guys. After the break, I'll come back and tell you how to capture all the departure cities. Very, very, very interesting. Okay, so very interesting. So hold back, don't go anywhere. So very, very nice, interesting stuff to happen going forward. So please stay back, guys. This is where you are getting into the programming. Okay, this is where you are getting into the programming. Shraddha, that's a mystery. You see what you watch a lot of TV. In the TV also, they will give you some information and they say that, oh, just hold back, don't go anywhere, don't touch your remotes. Okay, we'll come back and we'll tell you what it is. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so don't go anywhere. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Recording now. Wonderful. Okay. So before the break, so guys, before the break, we have captured the Denver city. Okay, we have captured one city. You see, before the break, we have captured only one city. But what is the agenda, guys? What is the agenda that we have started with? Okay, capturing all the departure cities. So how do I capture all the departure cities? Okay, so for capturing all the departure cities, guys, carefully observe what is the left boundary that I have taken for this capturing the departure city called Denver. This is the left boundary I have taken. And here is the right boundary. So if you wanted to capture all the cities, watch carefully. So now look at the left boundary for the Frankfurt as well. Okay. So what is the left boundary that I have taken for now for capturing this city? Okay. So I have taken this as the left boundary and I have taken this as the right boundary. I have taken this as the right boundary. Now Frankfurt also, watch carefully. What is the left boundary? That left boundary is applicable to Frankfurt as well? Yes, it is applicable to Frankfurt as well. And the right boundary is applicable to Frankfurt? Yes, because it's the same thing. Because it's the same thing. For London, again, it's the same left boundary, okay, and same right boundary. So for every single city you see, the left boundary and the right boundary is applicable. Okay, the left boundary and the right boundary is applicable. You see, for every single city, the same left boundary and the same right boundary. So what I have done is I have carefully selected this left boundary and right boundary in such a way that even though I didn't tell you, but before selecting the left boundary and right boundary, I have selected this left boundary and right boundary such that it is same across all the cities. So honestly, I'll tell you what was going on in my mind. I was thinking I will capture this value, not this value. If I had to capture this value, you see what is the left boundary over here? Value is equal to. But for Frankfurt, it is also value is equal to, not an issue. Okay. Okay. But for the right boundary, okay, right boundary, it was there. Oh, if I have selected value is equal to and is equal to greater than symbol, it would have still worked because the same left boundary and right boundary is applicable over here as well. Okay, so that one will also would have worked, but here what I have done is I have taken this as the left boundary and I have taken this as the right boundary, and I have selected only this far. I didn't go any further because I've selected and I've stopped it here. I didn't go any further than this. Why? Because if I go any further than this, then the left boundary is changing for each of those cities. The left boundary is changing each of those cities. You see, I've stopped for the left boundary over here. I didn't go any further because if I had to go any further, then my left boundary will be changing for all the cities. Here it is Frankfurt is equal to greater than symbol. That's what it becomes. And here London is equal to greater than symbol. That's what it would become. So that's why I've cautiously stopped over here so that the left boundary is constant for all the cities. Left boundary is constant, or is it same for all the cities, and right boundary also I have selected in such a way that it is same for all the cities. Okay, so now this is the left boundary I have selected, this is the right boundary which I have selected, and this left boundary, right boundary is not only the same boundaries for Denver, but these boundaries are same for Frankfurt, it is same for London, it is same for Los Angeles and every city over here. Okay, so that's the first point. For capturing all the values, step 1, capturing all the departure cities. What is the first thing that you have to do? Okay, pick up the left boundary and right boundary so that it is common or it is same for all the values. In this case, it is departure cities. Departure cities. Departure cities. Okay. Now that the left boundary and right boundary is same for all the departure cities, now I have to give one more instruction to my region. What is that instruction? Pick up all the values which matches that left boundary and right boundary. Okay, whatever, this is the left boundary and this is the right boundary. Pick up all the values which matches this left boundary and right boundary. Pick up every single value. Which matches that left boundary and right boundary. How can I say that? Simply give one more argument. Called ordinal is equal to all. What is that, guys? Ordinal is equal to all. For giving extra arguments, what do I do in this WebRed save param? For giving, you see, this was one argument. You see, param name is one argument. Okay, and there is a double quotes at the starting, double quotes at the ending, and there is a comma. Left boundary is one argument, double quotes at the starting, double quotes at the ending, and comma. Right boundary is also one more argument. So I wanted to add one more argument. So you put two double quotes and a comma. So I am adding one more argument. What is the argument I am giving? Ordinal. Okay. What is the value? Pick up all the values. Okay. Ordinal is equal to all. Make sure it is capital A, capital L, capital L. So by giving ordinal all, ordinal is equal to all, by giving this argument called ordinal is equal to all, what am I telling to Vugen? Whichever matches that left boundary and right boundary, pick up all the values which matches that left boundary and the right boundary. That's what I'm telling by mentioning ordinal is equal to all. So now I'll go back and run it. Hang on, guys. This runtime viewer has made this little tricky. I mean, it's pain in the neck. So let me disable the runtime viewer. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and run it. Okay, now you see registration of WebRed save param is successful, which means that the argument that I have added seems to be, it has understood it. There are no syntax errors with the argument that I have added. Now, as soon as I execute this request, what it will do? It will go to the response of this request. What is the response of this request? Sorry, hang on, guys. What is the response of this request? Here is the response of this request. For this request, what is the response? Here is the response which I have copied. So it will search for that left boundary. And right boundary. Okay, it is there at multiple places. It is there here, the left boundary, right boundary. It is there here, the left boundary, right boundary. It is there at multiple places, and it will pick up all the values which matches the left boundary and right boundary. We'll see all the values. Now we'll see how many values. So it has captured Denver, Frankfurt, London, Los Angeles, Paris, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, Sydney, and Zurich. And same list has repeated again. You see, Denver, okay, Frankfurt, okay, London, same list is repeated. Okay, why same list is repeated? Because if you pay little more attention, again the same values is there in this response. You see, Denver is repeated here, with the same left boundary and the same right boundary. Frankfurt is there here, and it is also there here with the same left boundary, right boundary. So it has not only captured these values, but it also captured these values. But this is for the arrival city, and this is for the departure city. Over here, the arrival cities and departure cities are same. That's the reason why it has captured all the values. Okay, wonderful, guys. So wonderful. So we have captured all the values that I wanted. So far it is clear, guys. How can we capture all the values? How can we capture all the departure cities? There are two-step process. First is you pick up a left boundary, right boundary in such a way that it is common for all the cities. Then you have to say ordinal is equal to all. Then you have to say what? Ordinal is equal to all. There is one more argument that you have added. What is that argument? Ordinal is equal to all. By giving ordinal is equal to all, what are you telling to Vugen? Whichever matches that left boundary, right boundary, pick up all the values. So it has picked up all the values. Okay. So far it is clear, guys. If it is clear, I will ask you this question. Let me see how many people will answer. So guys, I'm asking you, is it clear? Unless I get the response from you, I'll not be able to answer. I will not be able to proceed. Okay. Millie says kind of. Okay. Others? because it
Oh,
becomes much more complicated from here.
okay. So whenever we have a list of drop down values where we can, where we are supposed to do the correlation, then if we use the ordinal all, then it picks up all the values basically.
Right. Here you are not
We
supposed to. Okay, these are not dynamic values, Vidya. What I am doing is I am using the power of correlation to pick up these values.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
but are we supposed to, without correlating, the script will not work? It will certainly work because it's not a dynamic value. But we are using the power of correlation to do this kind of work. Even the cost of the ticket, we have picked it up. Okay, we have picked it up and displayed. If you have seen the cost of the ticket, we have picked it up and displayed. Did we, will the script will not work if I don't correlate that? No, the script will certainly work because that's not a dynamic value. But the thing is, you are using the power of the correlation to pick up that cost so that I can display it, I can do whatever it is. Are you getting it, Vidya?
So yes, yes. But the thing is, instead of correlation for selecting, I'm not talking about the ticket price, but for selecting the city, we can use parameterize also, right?
We have done that at the starting, right? We can certainly do it. You can certainly do it. Okay. But the problem with parameterization is sometimes this list will change and they will not tell you what do you say? They will not even update you if the list changes. Here you are
Oh, okay, okay.
only 10. But imagine there are 50 cities over here. Or in the drop down
Right.
list, it's a 50 values. Probably they would have added 2 more values in the next release. So every
Okay,
time
so
you
if it
check
keeps changing, every time it keeps changing. Got you.
if it changes. I mean, application means they will keep changing at the back end, right? You have done enough testing to know that it changes all the time with every release. Don't you think so, Vidya?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you have to go back and change all the time all these things. But now what I'm doing, I'm programmatically capturing it is what is there in the list and then randomly picking the values, which means that I need not have to worry about it. Are you getting it?
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. Others, guys, others. Okay, Melly said kind of. I think she'll go back and listen to the recorded video again. Samir, I'm sure is it. Yes, we can control. Yeah, we can't control those values. It is with the developer who will be controlling it. Okay, so we have Krishna, Satish, Shraddha, Srivalli, Sumati, Igram, Majid, Ayo. How are we doing? Are we understanding this? Okay, so wonderful, guys. So now we have picked up these values. So now the question is, okay, now the left boundary, instead of I'm selecting this as the left boundary, had I went any further, okay, I says I'm the realm of kind of, okay, okay. I do agree. It's a little complicated. You might have to listen this couple of times before you get a hang of it. Okay, so listen to a couple of times, practice it as well so that you get a hang of it. Okay, so I've taken only this much as the left boundary. I'm taking only this much as the right boundary. Okay, watch carefully. Only this much as the left boundary, this much as the right boundary. Had I went any further, okay, then will it pick? Let's say I have taken all this as the left boundary. So will it pick up all the cities in case if I selected all that as the left boundary? Okay, so what would happen in this case? Does it pick up, I mean, does it capture all the cities? Does it capture all the cities? No, as you said, no, because this left boundary is unique to only this value, so it will capture, even though you put ordinal all, it will pick up only this city. It will not pick up other cities because this left boundary is unique to only this value, so it will pick up only this value, not the other cities, even though you put the ordinal on, Okay, wonderful. Okay, now the next question I have is, instead of ordinal all, over here I put ordinal is equal to 1. What do you think will happen, guys? What do you think it will happen now? If I put ordinal all, it has captured all the values. Okay, now if I put ordinal 1, what it will happen? Okay, first start
It will capture only the first value,
value. Okay, let's
only one value.
let's see what it has captured. Okay, so you see it has captured only the first value, which is Denver. Okay, now I'll change this to ordinal is equal to 2. Ordinal is equal to 2. So what do you think it will capture now? Any guesses? What do you think it will capture now? Okay, I'll give you two options. It will capture the first two values or it will capture the second value.
First two values.
Okay, so Vidya says the first two values. Okay, Philip says only the second value. Shweta says first two values. Srivali says second value. Srivali seems to have done a lot of work here. Okay, so it will capture. I was thinking also it will capture the first two values, but it has captured the second value. You see, it will capture only the second value. So this ordinal is the occurrence, not the number of values that you want to capture. Initially, I was in the impression that it is the number of values that you want to capture. No, it is the occurrence. So it will capture only the second value. Okay. Similarly, now if you want to capture all the values, you just say ALL. It will capture all the values. It will capture all the values. It will capture all the values as you have seen here. Okay, as you have seen here. Now, I completely take away this argument called ordinal. Okay, I'll completely take away this argument called ordinal. Okay, completely taken it away. Now, what it will capture? You see, I've commented it out. Give it a guess. Whether it's wrong or right, I don't care, but I want to know your thought process. Even if it's wrong, you should participate and you should tell me. Okay, so it will capture only the first value because that's what generally we don't worry about the ordinal, guys. As I've told you, this is how the correlation function will work. So you see it has captured first value. This is how the correlation function will work. Even yesterday when Vidya has asked me how long should be the left boundary, I told you my VueGen will start searching from the first, and wherever it has found that first occurrence of the left boundary, what is the left boundary we have given? This is. Wherever it has found the first occurrence, it will stop over there, and from there it will start searching for the right boundary, and wherever is the first occurrence, it will stop there and it will take the value. So my VueGen will start searching. Here is where the response, it will start searching from the first value, and here is from the first character it will start searching, and wherever we have seen that boundary which is greater than is equal to greater than, it will stop over there. So we have given that as the left boundary, greater than is equal to, so it will stop over there, and from here it will start searching from the right boundary, it will stop over there and it will pick up the value. So if you don't give any ordinal value, that's how the logic works. So it will pick up the first value. So you have to go back to the root as to how the correlation works. Correlation will start searching from the first character in the response, and wherever the boundary that you have given, it will stop over there, and then it will search from the right boundary and pick up the value. So with that logic, you can say that it has picked up the first value. It has picked up the first value. Okay. Now I'll go back to the ordinal all. Okay, I'll go back to the ordinal all. For whatever the reason, guys, I went back to the ordinal all. I'll go ahead and execute it. Okay, I'll go ahead and execute it. Now, you see, watch carefully. It has captured all the values. It has captured all the values: Denver, Frankfurt, London, Los Angeles, and all that. But you have a need. Okay, you have certain purpose that I want only the first three characters in every single such instance. I don't want whatever is there after that first three characters. I don't even want any of that. I want only the first three characters. I don't want anything after that. Let's say there is a need. I don't have such need over here, but let's say there is a special purpose in your script in such that there is a need that I want only the first three characters. Then what you do is you add one more argument. Which is save length. You add one more argument. Whenever you want to add one more argument, what do you do, guys? You give first double quotes and a comma. Okay, double quotes and a comma. Okay, then you give one more argument called save length. Is equal to how many characters you wanted to save? 3 characters. Okay. If you're not sure about this syntax called SCVLEN, if you see, it should be capital S and capital L. If you're not sure about that syntax, what you can do is you can either take the help of the tool, press anywhere on this request, press F1, okay, and then look at all the arguments which is there over here, okay. It should be somewhere over here, save length, okay. You see, left boundary, right boundary, restrictions, okay. Save length should be somewhere over here. Okay, DEFs, okay, DEFs, somewhere should be there. Here you see LC, left boundary, okay, left boundary, right boundary. Okay, so save length they have not given over here, looks like. Okay, so maybe we can go to the example, probably they would have given there. Okay, maybe we can go to the example. Yeah, you see SEVLEN, save length. You see, they have given it in the example. You can get it from the example, or you don't want to go through the example and all that. What I would do, I'll right click, insert, new step. Okay, WebRed save param underscore ex. Parameter name, I want it to be departure city. Okay, departure cities, and left boundary, whatever the left boundary you wanted. Okay, this is the left boundary. Okay, and right boundary, whatever the right boundary that you have selected. Okay, ordinal you said you wanted all, and save offset and save length, both of them. I'll cover both of them. Save offset, let's say it is 2 you wanted to give. Save length, let's say you wanted to give 3. Okay, now it has automatically built. You see, save length is equal to 3, save offset is equal to 2. Okay, this is what you have built using the power of the tool with new step. Okay, so if you're not remembering the syntax and adding the arguments, you can always take the power of the tool, just like I have told you. Now you set save length is equal to 3. What is that you would expect? It will capture the first 3 letters. Okay, because you said save length is equal to 3. You see, for all the instances, you have to use, it has captured the first 3 letters. Okay. Now, I have a question here, guys. Okay. This save length argument, should I use it only with ordinal all, or if I don't use ordinal all also, the save length will work? What do you think so, guys? Even without the ordinal all, the save length will work? Or should I always use it with ordinal all? Yes, it will work. Yes, because one argument is not dependent on another argument. Even without ordinal all, it will pick up only the first value. In the first value, it will capture only the first 3 characters. You see, out of Denver, it has captured only DNB. Okay. Now I'll play around with save offset. Okay. So I'll comment out the save length. Okay. So that, Shraddha, to answer that question, I'll give you an assignment and you should tell me after doing the assignment, it will work only for the drop downs or it will work for all the values. Okay, save offset. So you see save offset, capital S and capital O and whatever the value. Okay, so any argument you have to have the double quotes and a comma. Okay, then you say save offset. Save offset is equal to, let's say I've given a save offset of 2. I've commented out save length. If you watch carefully, I've commented out save length. So you have given a save offset of 2. You see what has happened? Out of Denver, it didn't capture DE, but it has captured NVER. Why? Because you said offset by 2. Which means that it will offset it by 2 characters, which will take away the first 2 characters. You see, out of Frankfurt, FR it has deleted. Out of London, it has deleted yellow. Out of Los Angeles, it has deleted yellow. So it has offset all of them. It will offset by 2. So if there is a requirement, why are we discussing? In your project, there might be a requirement like that. If you have a requirement like that, so that out of the captured value, I want only certain value, then you can play around with the save offset and save length, guys. You can play around with the save offset and save length. Okay. Wonderful, guys. So wonderful. Okay. Are we clear so far with all the arguments of WebRed save param? This is extremely important for you to talk in the interviews, guys. Okay. Please make sure in the scripting challenges talk about all the interviews. You have to say that, oh, I had this requirement wherein the captured value was 10 letters, but I didn't want the first 3 letters. Then I had used something called save offset. And there was one instance wherein I have to capture 20 letters, but I wanted only the first 3 characters out of these 20 characters. Then I had used the save length. There was a requirement wherein I need to pick up one value from the drop down list. Okay, I would have parameterized and randomized, but you know this is not a good coding practice. So what I have done is I have correlated it, and then I have correlated using ordinal all. Then I have used LR param, I'll tell you what needs to be done, LR param array underscore length to pick up one value. So you talk about all this in your scripting challenges, guys. 100% interview question. What is that 100% interview question? What is the scripting challenges you have faced? What is that 100% interview question? What are the scripting challenges you have faced? Okay, I wanted you to spend as much time as you want over here. Okay, usually any interview happens for 30 minutes. Okay, if you spend 15 minutes here with all the scripting challenges I am telling you, okay, all the scripting challenges I am telling you, you can easily spend 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, honestly speaking, if the interviewer is not smart enough or he has done only little bit of coding and programming, if you talk about all the things I'm telling you, okay, right from conversions to scripting challenges, there are a lot of scripting challenges I've told you, downloads, web custom requests, how to build web custom requests for web applications, downloads. I've been covering all, wherever it is required, I've been covering all the scripting challenges. Okay, so if you put all of them together and you speak about all of them, it will take at least 15 minutes. And whenever you speak, right, if you're going to face interview, request for a pen and a paper, and you write down all these syntaxes. Okay, write down. Address save param underscore ex, param name is equal to blah blah blah, left boundary is equal to right boundary is equal to arguments you are writing with the syntax. I'm telling you, you're blowing his mind away. Okay, he thinks that you are really good with scripting. Okay, so with the syntax, I want you to write it down. And if you're spending 15 minutes, right, I'm telling you, right, he won't even ask you any more questions on the scripting part because already you would have felt inferior. Already you would have felt inferior. Okay, so again, I'm telling you, I'm not underestimating the capabilities of the interviewer, but not all the people would have done all these things. They would have faced some other challenges in their projects. Okay, you would have done more than what we have learned in the class, but definitely you wouldn't have faced all the challenges that we have discussed in the class. So you are discussing about all these scripting challenges, and you are writing all this in front of him. Okay, with the syntax, I'm telling you, you are in. Okay, at least with the scripting part, they think that you are really good. And this is the general feedback I get for all the students who have trained with me, practiced with me, and understood the concept and went to the interview and spoken about all this. Then definitely he thinks that you are really good. Okay, yeah. Coming back to this. So you have played around with all this, and as Phil has asked, they will also ask you this question called what is the correlation issues you have faced. So you talk about all these correlation issues. Okay, you talk about all these correlation issues, and soon I'll be making one course on advanced LoadRunner scripting. Okay, and I'll make those courses available to you. And if you go through that course, okay, I'm recording some videos on that. Pretty soon I'll be done with that. And once I'm done, I'll take 1 month. I'll make those courses available to you, whoever wanted it. And you go through that course and do it. Okay, understand as much as you could and do it. And if you talk about all those challenges as well, your interview is yours, guys. I'm telling you. Okay, interview is yours. So anyways, so coming back here, so let's go back to the agenda. What is agenda? Capture or pick up one value randomly from the drop down list. So what he has done, step 1, capture all the departure cities. I've captured all the departure cities. Now you use what? Now the step 2 is what? Step 2, pick up one value randomly from this list. Okay, now okay, so go back. I'm sure some of them have to go to the offices, guys, but please stay back. I'll take 15 more minutes. I'll complete this chapter because I don't want to leave this hanging. So you see, I've captured all the cities. And also one thing you would have noticed, I have given the parameter name called departure city. Satish, only for today, please stay back for 15 minutes. Only for this week. This is very important. Okay, I'm sure. Okay, you have to go, but only for today. I think any company one day, okay, they will give you excuse. You see what has happened here now. The LR parameter is no longer departure city, but what it has done, it has converted to departure city underscore 1 underscore 2 underscore 3 underscore 4 underscore 5. In all these values, it has captured each city. Okay, it has captured each city. Are you getting it, guys? Okay, so it has captured the cities. Okay, now whatever whatever the parameter name, departure city, it's not holding one value, but here in this case it is holding 20 values. It is holding 20 values, and for the comfort level it has added _1, _2, _3, _4 and _5. So what are we call this? There is a name for this in our programming language. What is the name? Any guesses, guys? Now departure city is not a simple parameter. What is this parameter now? It is not a simple LR parameter. What is it now? Any guesses, guys? Any guesses? Wonderful, Phil. It is called an array. It is not a simple parameter now. Okay, it is not a simple LR parameter. It is a array. What is it? It is a array. Okay, it is a array. Why it is an array? But because you can clearly see that it is not holding one value, but it is holding multiple values, and it has given itself internally _1, _2, _3 to capture all the 20 values. So there is a term for this. The term is array. So again in the interview you have to use this value, term array. Now my LR parameter has become or converted into an array parameter. It has converted to an array LR parameter. Okay, it is an array. So now if I go back and replace this departure cities, this is a departure city, right? In the departure city, I have all the 20 values. So for this departure city, now if I go ahead and replace that value, okay? So sorry. Here I have to replace that value. Here is the departure city. You see, here is the departure city. It is London. If you run it for 100 times, it will be London itself. Now I have to replace this value random, one value. So if I replace this departure city over here, but the departure city is holding not one value but 20 values. It is departure city is an LR parameter which is an array now, and it is not holding one value, it is holding 20 values. So it doesn't know which value to replace here. It doesn't know which value to replace here out of 20. It doesn't know which value to replace here out of the 20. Oh Kumar, if that is the case, what I will do is I will say _1. In that case, it knows what value to replace, so it will replace it with the first value. Let me see if this works or not, because I myself didn't do this before, so suddenly it came into my mind and I thought it will work or not. Let me see if it will work. Okay, so it has replaced departure city is equal to Denver. Okay, it would have booked the ticket from Denver to whatever the place. It would have booked the Denver to Los Angeles. It would have booked the ticket from Denver to Los Angeles. Okay, let me see if it is booking the ticket from Denver to Los Angeles. How can I check it? Go to that snapshot view. Okay, this is where it is. Go to the snapshot view of that and see. Okay, it has departure city from London to Los Angeles. So it is not even replacing that value. It is replacing that value for the departure city. Oh, this is for the, recording, replay I wanted to see. Yeah, it has booked from Denver to Los Angeles. So it has booked from Denver because departure _city _1 is Denver. So it has replaced over here Denver to Los Angeles. So it has booked from Denver to Los Angeles. But if you run for 100 times, it will book from Denver to Los Angeles. But that's not what I wanted. Here I wanted a random city. over here. I wanted a random city. So instead of departure city _1, if I put departure city, what does the departure city has? It has all the 20 values. What does the departure city has? It has all the 20 values. You see, departure city is that it has all the 20 values. It doesn't know which value to replace over here. If you exclusively say _1, it will replace it with the first value. If you exclusively say _2, it will replace it with the second value. But I don't know. I want you to, if I say departure city, it doesn't know what to replace it with. It should fail. Let me see if it fails. You see, LR parameter departure city is a parameter, delimiter, and it's not a parameter. It's not even considering this as a LR parameter because it doesn't have one value, but it has multiple values, and you are not putting any value over here. So it will not put any value because it has 20 values. It will not replace here any value because it has 20 values. So it doesn't know which value to replace it over here. So it will not even replace any value over here. So this will not work, guys. If you're putting departure city over here, it will not work because it's not capturing, it doesn't have one value, but it has 20 values. Okay, it has 20 values. So what you have to do now, we wanted to randomly pick up one value. For randomly picking up one value, see the piece of code that I'm doing. Okay, see the piece of code that I'm doing. So now let me delete this, clean up the script, guys. Let me clean up the script. I have my WebRed save param over here, guys. I have my WebRed save param over here. Watch carefully. I'm asking a question to you. Hear carefully me. When will you have the values for the departure city? As soon as you execute this request, or after executing this request, I'll have the values for the departure city. Please tell me. Okay, option 1, as soon as you execute this request, you will have the values for the departure city. Option 2, after executing this request, I will have the values for departure city. Either option 1 or option 2. If you have paid enough attention, you know it. No, tell me option 1 or option 2. Option 1 is after executing this request, obviously the registration of WebRed save param will have. But when will you have these values for departure city? Option 1 or option 2. Option 1 is as soon as you execute this. Option 2 is execute this one. Option 2. Okay. So over here, once I have the values for all the departure cities, now what I will do here, I will build piece of code to pick up one value randomly from this array parameter, from this departure underscore city parameter list, which is an array in our case. Now the departure city, okay, departure city has not one value, but it has 20 values. So I will add a logic or a piece of code to pick up one value randomly from these 20 values. One value randomly from these 20 values. And you have to build the piece of code over here, because only after this piece of code, I will have these 20 values. Once I have these 20 values, then I'll be able to randomly pick value from these 20 values. So the function that you use is, okay, you have to by heart this, guys, LR underscore param array underscore random. What is the function that you use? LR underscore param array underscore random. Again, there is an interview question. What all the LR functions that you have used? You can talk about all the LR functions that I have spoken about so far. LR save string, LR eval string, LR parameter printf, ATOI. Those are not LR functions. Those are C functions. Okay. Now we are hearing about new function LR param array underscore random. Make sure the color changes. So the color changes, then you have typed it right. You see, how do I remember it? LR. And this function is applicable only to the parameters, and I'm using to the parameter called departure. And this departure city is an array. It's an array parameter. So that's why I'm saying it's an array. And I wanted to use it to pick up a value randomly from the array. That's how you make a logical sense out of it and remember it. Okay. Any function starts with LR, and this function is for the LR parameters. And not only for LR parameters, this LR parameter is an array. So LR param array, and I'm using it for picking up a value randomly. So that's why it is LR param array underscore random. The syntax of this is you give an array, you give a parameter, you give a LR parameter. The LR parameter is departure city, and this LR parameter that you're giving, it should be array, guys. It should be array. It should not be a simple LR parameter. You see, now the departure city is an array because it is storing more than one value. So then I'll be able to give this as an input to this LR param array. Okay. Any changes here, guys? Any changes here? Anything that I have to do? Or there are two mistakes over here. Let me see how many people will identify these mistakes. Okay. I'm talking about mistakes, Shraddha. Departure city is an array. Okay. So, yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Rule of thumb. What is the rule of thumb? If I'm giving an LR parameter as an input to any LR function, it should be in the flower braces. Wonderful. What is the second mistake? It's a silly, simple mistake. No, not the braces. Any function ends with what? Any LR function ends with what? A semicolon. Okay. Now let me compile it. No errors detected. Wonderful. But where are we capturing? Okay, this LR param array underscore random will pick one city randomly from this 20 list city. Okay, departure city contains 20 cities. So it has picked up one value randomly from this list. Once it has picked up, it has to store somewhere. It has to store somewhere. So where are we storing? Let's store it in some value called sbuff. Let's store it in some value called sbuff. So store it in some value called sbuff. Now what should be sbuff, guys? Should we declare it, or what is this sbuff? What do you think it will be? Or if I wanted to know what should be sbuff, what would I do? What would I do? Okay. So click on this request LR param array random. Press F1. Okay. Press F1, and you see in the C language what is the output? It should be a pointer. Declare it. It should be a pointer. It's not an integer. It's a string, and the string should be declared what? As a pointer. Okay. Let me copy that. Okay, and declare it. Okay. So declare it. Okay. Now there is a mistake. What is the mistake, guys? Can somebody please tell me what is the mistake? Wonderful, guys. Any declaration, again we are going back to the basics. Any declaration cannot be done in the middle of the script. It should be done at the top of the script. Declarations always happens at the top of the script. Now you compile, you see illegal statement. What is it says? But is it saying that declaration needs to be done at the top of the script? No, my vision is not smart enough to exactly tell you what is the mistake. But based on it, you have to understand. Okay, it will give you some error message. As you can see, it has given some message like undeclared identifier, and it says skipping char. So it will not even understand this. Okay, so as a rule of thumb, it should be done at the top of the script. Again, those are basics. If you have done all the assignments and played around, you would have known by now. You see all the errors. But as a good programming standards, you will put the declaration over here or somewhere else. In the globals.h, in the globals.h. So let me declare it in the globals.h, because once you declare it in globals.h, this variable is not only applicable to action 1, but it is applicable to user init, and it is also applicable to user end. It is also applicable to user end. Wonderful, guys. Wonderful. Okay. Beautiful. So now what you have done, out of these 20 cities, okay, where is this? Yeah. So now my departure city contains all the 20 cities. Out of these 20 cities, I am picking only one city. How? By using a function called LR param array underscore random. Okay. Unfortunately, the output of this is a string. So I have declared a variable called string, and I have captured that value into sbuff. So Kumar, please let's do step-by-step execution and show it to me. Yeah, why not? Okay, so now you see departure city contains how many values? 20 values. But do I want to replace all the 20 values? No, one value. And how do I want to pick up that one value? Randomly from this 20. Randomly from this 20. How am I picking up? By using one function called LR underscore param array underscore random. It will pick one value from these 20 values randomly. And that value will be stored where? Into a string. Okay, so as soon as, now let's watch this value called store. Okay, so if I wanted to see the value for sbuff, where will I be able to see that value? Where will I be able to see that value? What's there in sbuff? Either you have to print it out using LR output message, or you can watch it. You can see it in watch. You can see it in watch. Okay, right click, add to watch. Okay, but right now it is null. As soon as you declare, the default value for any string will be null. Now, as soon as you execute, what will happen? This function LR param array underscore random will pick one city from this randomly. It will pick one city from this departure cities. Randomly, it will pick one city from this list of 20 cities, and that value will be assigned to this sbuff. It should have picked up one value randomly from this city. Why not it is working? Did I do any mistake? It is still saying it as sbuff is equal to null. Okay, why? Hang on, guys. So departure cities has 20 values. Okay, so it is saying that in line number 25, warning, the string departure city with parameter delimiter is not a parameter, it is saying. So have I copied the departure city correctly? Is there any mistake? Okay guys, there seems to be a mistake. Let's work on this one to see what is the mistake. Definitely you see the error. What is the error it is saying? The string departure city with a parameter delimiters is not a parameter. So in this one, it is not even seeing this as a parameter, not even considering this as a parameter. Why? Is there a mistake? DEPATU. I've copied it. Parameter name I've copied. copied it over here. Paste it. Okay, maybe there could be a spelling mistake, guys. Maybe there could be a spelling mistake. Let me see. Okay, now let me run it to see if it is working. Okay. Let me go to the watch. No, it is still not working. Hang on, guys. There seems to be a mistake. Let me figure out. Okay. So, spelling of departure, no, I've copied it. Whatever the departure city, whatever the parameter name I have given, the same parameter name I have copied it over here. If you see, it should be same. DEPATURE_city. DEPATURE_city. Okay. So there seems to be a mistake. Okay. But it is capturing all the values. If you see LR output message, okay, it is capturing all the values, departure city. Okay. Anybody, if you happen to find any mistake, please let me know, guys. Okay. If you happen to identify the mistake. You see parameter array name with LR parameter. Let me look at the example. Okay. How they have used it. Okay. So you see LR param array underscore random. Okay. In the double quotes. Oh, they didn't put a flower basis here. Oh, because it is a parameter array. So they didn't put a flower basis. Okay. So since it is an array, it didn't put a flower basis. Okay. Had you selected only one value out of the departure city like _1, _2, _3, then flower braces would have worked. But here your departure city is an array, so you're not supposed to put the flower braces. Okay. Okay. Nice. So looks like the rule of thumb is only if it has only one value. But if it is an array, that rule doesn't applicable. That rule is not applicable. Okay. Okay. You see, now SBUF randomly it has picked up Frankfurt. Randomly it has picked up Frankfurt. Out of this, all the values, okay, out of all these 20 values, randomly it has picked up Frankfurt. Now, if I run it one more time, will it pick up Frankfurt itself or will it pick up something else? Can somebody tell me? Okay, will it pick up Frankfurt itself or will it pick up some other value? Or ideally, you know, it might pick up Frankfurt, but yeah, ideally it should be something else. Why it has stopped here? Okay, so you see what is the value now it has picked up? Okay, it doesn't picked up yet. Only after executing this statement it will pick up. This time around as well it has picked up Frankfurt. Okay, let me run it one more time. Okay, now let's see what it has picked up. Los Angeles. You see, it will pick up the values randomly. If you work for n number of times, each time it will pick up the value randomly, one from that list. Now you can replace this value to my next statement here. Okay, here we can use in the departure city. Now you have to replace the value. We are not done yet, guys. We are not done yet. Okay, now SBUF has the random city. I can put it over here. SBUF as the random city, I can put it over here. Is this correct, guys? Is this correct? No. Why? Because a string, SBUF is what? A string. A string can never be passed as an input to an LR function. A string can never be passed as an input to the LR function. Now what? Convert it. So convert to what? Convert string to what? Convert to what? LR parameter. Okay, because only LR parameters you can give it as an input. Now converting the string to LR parameter, what is the function? Let me tell you, let me see how many people will answer this. Wonderful, Samir. And is there any other function that we can use apart from LR param as printf? Apart from this function, is there any other function that I can use? Converting a string to LR integer. No, LR parameter to string, it's LR eval. Okay, everybody. Okay, LR save string. Okay, you see, you're saving a string to the LR parameter. That's how you remember it. You're saving a string value to the LR parameter. So LR save string is a value. LR eval string is the other way around. I have an LR parameter, convert to a string, LR eval string. Okay, I can use one of these functions. I will use LR save string. Okay, I'll use LR save string. Okay, so as per the syntax, first is what, guys? Is it the LR parameter value or the string value? So there are two values that needs to go. Okay, so I think the first is the string value, then the LR parameter value. Okay, LR parameter value. What is the LR parameter I wanted to give? I'll give it as random, okay, departure city. Okay, random departure city. Now what will happen? Whatever the value which is there in SBUF will be copied into an LR parameter called random departure city. Will be copied into an LR parameter called random departure city. Okay, let me compile it. No errors. Let me see if it is copying or not. Okay, I'll put a toggle point over here. Make sure it is getting copied or not. Okay, so let me go ahead and execute. Yes, now you see what is there in SBUF. It is there Sydney. It has picked up the value Sydney. Now whatever is there in SBUF which is Sydney should be copied into an LR parameter called random departure city. Let's see it has done or not. Let's go to the runtime data. Okay, random departure city is Sydney. You see it has copied. Or you can go to the output replay log and you can see it. Random departure city is Sydney. So whatever is there in SBUF, now it is copied into the LR parameter called random departure city because that's what you said. So whatever is been there in SBUF, copied into LR departure city, random departure city. Now you can use this value. Now SBUF you cannot use it, but you can use this value over here. So anything missing here, guys? Now random departure city is not an array; it is just an LR parameter. So do I have to give anything over here? Do you have to give anything over here? Yes. We have to give the flower braces. We have to give what? Flower braces because it is a LR parameter and it is going as an input. Okay. So this is you can randomly pick one value for the departure city and put it over here. Similarly, you can do the same stuff for arrival city, guys. Same stuff for arrival city also you can do the same stuff for arrival city. Okay. So here is the assignment for today, guys. So pick up a random city for departure and also arrival and book the ticket. So that's the first assignment. And second assignment is little complicated. Watch carefully. I'm giving this assignment. It is on the Jmeter store. I've already given this application to you. Okay. So okay. So the list. Observe this list carefully, guys. Okay. I have different pets: fish, dogs, cats, reptiles, birds. Okay. So click on fish. You have different kinds of fish. And click on one fish, it has different types of items. Okay, so one item, then you can add it to the cart and you can proceed to checkout and continue and confirm. Okay, this is what you do. Okay, again I'm telling you guys, so pick up any pet. In that pet there are two products. Pick up any products, there are two items. Pick up any item, then you will be able to add it to the cart, proceed to checkout, continue and confirm. Okay, even though you don't have time, give an attempt, guys. This is a very complicated assignment, probably the most complicated. Okay, today I will give you half assignment, tomorrow I will give you a half assignment. I want you to pick up one pet. Okay, no, I want you to go to fish, I want you to go to product ID, and I want you to pick up one item randomly from this list. Okay, one item randomly. Let me see if it has more items. Let me see an item which has more items, a product which has more items. Hang on, guys. So I wanted to go and give you an item which has more items, product which has more items. No, two, yeah. So now the product called Labrador. If anybody likes dogs, this is one of the favorite dog. A lot of people love it. I love it as well, Labradors. Okay, so Golden Retriever, very hard to maintain. Okay, a lot of hair all over the place. So yeah, Labrador in that case is useful. Okay, so I want you to do what? Go to home, go to dogs and select Labrador dog. Select Labrador dog. In the Labrador, pick up one item randomly. So Shraddha, you have asked me a question. Will it work? Will this concept work only for the drop-down list? No, it will work for this kind of stuff as well. Okay, so Shraddha, are you there listening? Shraddha has asked this question to me as the class is going on. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm giving this one. So my concept that I've given, it will not only work for the drop downs, but it will also work over here. Okay, so what I want you to do, go to dogs, go to Labrador, and it should randomly pick up one value from this item list. So again, okay, so what do you do for recording purpose? Go to dogs, go to Labrador dog, and for recording purposes, you record with item ID 1 add to cart, proceed to checkout, and confirm. Recording, you do it and confirm. You recording, do it, you do it. But for the enhancements part, what do you do is, okay, you go to this place in your script wherein the response is this thing, and pick up all the item IDs, pick up the left boundary, right boundary in such that, you know, all the item IDs will be picked up using ordinal all. Then you pass it on to the next request. When you pass it on to the next request. Tomorrow after the class, I will solve this assignment in front of you. So it will take 15-20 minutes for me to even solve this. So I'll solve it for you after the class. But before that, I want at least you want to attempt this. Only if you attempt it. You need not have to do it. You tried it. I'm happy. It will take the first, I'm telling you again, it will take 2 to 3 hours, maybe. Or 1 to 2 hours at least. Okay? Maybe. I'm just giving it a guess. But I want you to attempt this. I want you to struggle. I want you to figure out. I want you to play around. Okay? So you have 2 assignments. If you want 2 days, I'll give you 2 days. Don't worry. Okay? I'll put this link in my running notes. So I'll send it. It's there in yesterday's running notes, guys. It's there in yesterday's running notes. So again, I'm putting it in the today's running notes, and I'll send this running notes to you. Or I'm putting it in the chat window as well. Okay? You can take it from the chat window. Okay? So do this. I want everybody to attempt because it's not that straightforward, I'm telling you. Okay? As soon as you go there, you realize that there are 2 places you have the item list. One is capital EST 222, one is small EST 222. Okay? Then you get confused which one you should take. Okay. In the response, you will have 2 values, guys. Again, I'm asking this question to you. In the response, you will have 2 values. One is capital EST 22 and one small EST 22. Which one you will take? From the response, which one you will capture? Option 1, anything will work. Option 2, only capital EST -22. Option 3, small EST 22. Which one you will select and which one you will correlate with ordinal all? Option 1, doesn't matter. Okay, whether capital EST 22 or small EST 22. Option 2, no. LoadRunner is case sensitive. I want to capture only capital EST 22. Option 3, anything will work. Small EST 22 is also okay. So what do you think, guys? What is the answer that you think? Option 1 or 2 or 3? Too much of information today, Kumar. Please leave us. That's the option 4. So what is it, guys? Option 1 or 2 or 3? Okay, forget it. So at least try to make this assignment attempt. Okay, tomorrow I'll give you 2 days. Tomorrow as well I will give you. And let's see. In 2 days how many people will do this assignment, and then I'll come back day after tomorrow after the class. I'll do this assignment for you. Okay, with that note, I'm taking off, guys. So today there's quite some information. Somebody, if you find that a lot of information went over your head and it became like really complicated, listen to this video again. Okay, that's the only thing I can tell you. Okay, kind of, right? So listen to this video again. If you still say kind of, then I'll take one-on-one sessions to you. Okay, whoever's after listening also, you have made an attempt, still it's not working out, then I'll do one-on-one with you. Okay, so have a good day, guys. So see you tomorrow. Okay, and a lot of interesting stuff to learn. Tomorrow we'll go with something called correlation rules, and we'll go something called regular expressions. Lot of interesting stuff to learn. And regular expressions, don't miss it, guys, because as a software guy, you have to know regular expressions, whether you are a manual tester or any tester. Okay, so on that note, I'm taking off, guys. If you have any questions, I can take your questions now. Stay back and take your questions. So I hope everybody is enjoying and really enjoying this advanced topics. If somebody is not getting hang of these advanced topics, it is still fine, guys, because very rarely we get to use this in performance testing. Don't think that, oh, I'm not understanding this, I will not be able to understand this, I'm not good enough for performance testing. No, people who have done in 10 years of industry, they wouldn't have done all this. So don't worry about it. Okay, so if you're not able to do it, it's still fine. Okay, you'll be able to do it. Very rarely you get to see these kind of challenges. Okay, Samir will get it done here because I'm really busy with certain stuff. I have to run around to hospitals. Oh, Melly, you have sent the assignment. Sorry. Okay, I'll review. But Shraddha, I'll take your questions first. Shraddha, go ahead, please.
Yeah, sir, sir, actually my window got crashed and then I reinstalled the Vusion. So in that, in recording options, when I go to recording options,
I'm not able to hear you, Shraddha. Can you be little loud, please? I can hardly hear you. I've increased my volume to the maximum. There's nothing much I can do from my end.
now, now, now it's audible.
It is still not audible. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know what about the speaker.
Okay, okay. So you said you have reinstalled. Okay, fine.
Yeah, so when I go to recording options, then when I make the changes to get reflected into the script, then I am not seeing the OK and cancel button on this no recording options.
Yeah, because it's a problem with your display. This OK and cancel button went hided behind. Okay, so probably you see
Yeah,
this is what you're seeing. Okay, and the problem is you cannot pull it up because it's already there and you cannot pull up anything. In these cases, what you do is it is the problem with your display. Go to screen resolution and play around with the screen resolution so that you will be able to take this up and you will be able to see this OK cancel button. You're understanding, Shraddha? It's not problem with the installation. It's not problem with the tool. It went into hiding. Okay, because of your resolution, and you cannot go up anymore because you went up as much as you could, and there is nothing that you cannot go up, but it's still hiding. So what you do is only thing is play around with the resolution, either increase it or decrease it so that you will get it back. Okay, it's a very
actually
simple
I
issue.
changed. Yeah, actually I changed the resolution as well, but that was not working actually.
Then that's the only thing because it works. Maybe you either have to decrease or increase. That's what it is. You see, here it is maximum, right? If you decrease, I think the buttons will become bigger or smaller, and you have to do it. Okay, this you haven't done any. I mean, you increased and decreased. You tried either ways, or you're only trying one way.
Yeah, from decreasing, from increasing, both ways.
Okay, did you put it maximum and minimum? Still, it didn't work.
Actually, it was on high. Initially, it was on high,
Okay.
and then I decreased it, but I was not able to get the thing properly.
Okay, then try reinstalling with the Shraddha. That's the only thing I can tell you. Because it's a screen resolution problem. Try to access. Okay, you cannot try to access it from another system. You will hide to. I think you can. If you change the monitor, maybe it will work. But if it's a laptop, you cannot change the monitor. You try to. I mean, use the
Actually,
external. Sorry.
in Vusion, when I had Vusion 12.55, then I didn't have that problem.
Right.
But I reinstalled it, Vusion 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
That I am getting this problem.
Or you downgraded, then you are getting this problem too. So can you try 12.53?
So how to upgrade it?
No, you have to uninstall and install it. I have given you two files. One is 12 point. You see, you should have gotten these two files. One is 12.53 and one is 12.50. Uninstall 12.50 and install 12.53.
Okay, this is
Okay,
going to
because that's the only thing. Because maybe it's a version mismatch. Maybe 12.50 is not good enough for Windows 10. Probably something like that. Or typically the resolution takes care of it. Usually the resolution takes care of it, but it is not even taking care of it. Then you have to either reinstall or upgrade it to 12.53 by uninstalling 12.50 and installing 12.53.
in display, in screen resolution window. It is on my laptop. It is showing as mobile PC display. So this is the problem.
I don't know, yeah. I mean, I don't even see in Windows 10, right? So with
Yeah,
platforms, with
no,
the
no, no. I don't
installation,
have.
okay,
I don't have Windows 10. I have Windows 7.
then you have to play around, Baba, because I cannot tell you, right? Anything about the tool I can tell you, but these things it's very difficult without having the access. So play
So
around
can you
with them.
just check for me? Can you just check for me? Do you have Windows 7?
This is Windows 7 itself.
Okay. And in screen resolution, what is the option you have?
Okay. Adapter, generic non-PMP monitor on standard VGA graphic adapter.
Okay, so this display option I'm not getting in my window, so I will check this for
Yeah,
sure.
can you try that? Maybe play around with all the options, resolution, display, everything that you have here. Okay, but I'm sure that is the resolution issue itself, not the tool installation issue. In the worst case, what I will do if that is the case, you use tabs. Okay, if you're still not able to find out, you use tabs. Can you see that with Shraddha? Okay,
Yeah,
by default you have
this
recording.
is the
You
last option. This is the
Yeah.
last option. I use the tab, but
Okay, typically what happens is it will be at the recording. As soon as you put the first tab, it will go to OK. So whatever the changes you have done, you put a tab, it will go to OK and press enter. So that's the worst case scenario that you can work with.
okay.
Okay. So, okay, fine. Samir, you have any questions? Samir, go ahead, questions. I mean, you wanted to take it personally, one-on-one. You don't want anybody to hear. We'll certainly do that. Okay. So, Melly, we will look into your correlation tomorrow, Melly. Okay. So, today is already 9:10. I mean, we are extending. So, Melly, we'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Melly, we'll do it tomorrow. Is it fine, Melly? Okay. So,
Okay, that's fine.
it's fine. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Our Samir, are you there? You wanted to do it here, or you want to do one-on-one?
Yeah, I will do it one on one. I will send out an email or whenever you have free time, I will touch base with
No, let's get it done, Samir, because I will be running around certain stuff. I have to go to a clinic now, so I'll be running around whole day. So just call me right away.
you. No, no, we will. It's not so urgent. I mean, we can do it later also, not a problem. Not today. I can call you whenever you are free. I mean,
I'm
it's
free.
not so
I'm
urgent.
free for the next 1 hour, so you can call me. I'm not in a hurry, but at the later point of the day, I'll be a little hurry. So I want to get it done today itself. Just call me right away. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you guys. See you tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye. Take care.